Hey everyone. Hey, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. I'm trying to do that thing again where I can start a watch party. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but let's see. It's saying that I can do it, so. How are you this morning? I'm a little late coming, but I wanted to come nonetheless because we talked about doing box cards this morning. So once I get this thing all settled, I can, it says I'm live. And I know you guys are watching because I see that there are people here. And this is annoying. I don't know. You guys are going to have to help me out on this because I just can't figure it out. It says I'm live, but doesn't allow me to link to it. Anyway, good morning, Amy and Ashley. Good morning, and Penny. Good morning. Hey, I got some great news this morning, and that is that I have a few more winners for the April. I'm already thinking it's August. We've been inside way too much, I think, guys. I have some winners, April winners, and box cards we're doing today, right? Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to mention them at the end. I actually still have, I actually still have several to give away even after announcing these winners. And Mary Ann Diano, will you contact me if you see this, or if anybody knows Mary Ann? I've been trying to get in touch with her for weeks. I don't want to have to pass her by, but if I can't get to her, then I'm going to have to. So, but then I also have a few other giveaways set to do, and then I'm still going to do that other one. Hey, so let's talk about these wonderful box cards. Good morning, Lisa. You made it. And Mary Lou, nice to see you this morning. Does anybody remember from our childhood a show? I'm not sure if it was local or not. It was called Romper Room, and the girl, yay, you made it, Lisa. The woman, I don't want to call her a girl. The woman that ran it, she used to have this magic mirror, right? and she would hold it up, and she'd say, "I'm looking at." And I see, and then she would name a bunch of kids' names. I don't know what she picked the name. We won't tell anybody, Lisa. Lisa's saying she's supposed to be working. Shh, everyone, be quiet, because Lisa's supposed to be working, and we don't want her to get her in trouble because the cat, who's her supervisor, might tell on the boss. You remember, Mary Lou? Was that Romper Room a national program, or was it like kind of like East Coast? I seem to think it was East Coast. It was called Romper Room. And the woman at the end, I wish I remember, I think her name was something like Miss Mary Ellen or something. And at the end of the show, she'd hold up this big mirror, like a personal mirror. And at first it was all like swirly. And then when she came back, you could see her face through it. And she'd say, "I see Susie and Joe and, Mary," and all of that. And I just, every time I start talking with you guys on here, that's what I feel like I'm doing. Isn't that terrible? I don't know. It's funny. I love all my memories from my childhood because they're pretty unique. And yeah, it makes you feel old, Norma. So Norma, are you from the East Coast, or are you from someplace else because I'm from Boston, and I know we used to have a program. It was like Ranger Rick, or it was this guy, and he was a cowboy. And this is a different show, obviously, not Romper Room. But this show was a cowboy, and he used to, one of the things, oh my God, one of the things we loved was that he would give away these, I guess the show was for, I don't know if it developed out of his travel agency, but once a year they would have these summertime travel programs, and they would advertise it to the parents. You know, you can send your kid away for for a couple of weeks, and everybody wanted to be sent away for those couple of weeks. And I don't know if it was like a bus tour or if it was a campground. Anybody remember that? I think his name was like, maybe it wasn't Ranger Rick. Maybe it was like Cowboy Rick. I seem to think it was Rick something. Captain Kangaroo is, nope, that's not Captain although I did like Captain Kangaroo too. But this one was, I think this one was a local one. And we also had a couple of clowns that were just local. I know there was like Bozo, and he was national. But anyway. I think the quarantine is getting to me. I think it's getting to me, guys. I am on day 40. I saw that on my calendar this morning because my son and I went into this isolation starting on the 13th. It was Friday the 13th. That's how I remember it. Friday the 13th we started, and he hasn't been to school since, and it's been 40 regular calendar days, and most of the time we've stayed home. We don't even go outside, which I know you're supposed to be able to go outside, but with my diagnosis I'm not able to do that. But you know, anyway, so this morning I was thinking, you know, Noah and his family, it was only 40 days that they were on the ark, and God, you know, put them in isolation for 40 days. And I'm at 40 days now. So when is this going to be over? I know I should not laugh. I mean, people are dying and stuff, but I just, sometimes you have to find some fun things to keep yourself entertained because, boy, there's a whole lot going on, right? Anyway, so let's see, this morning, and my friend Lydia is saying that this is a cute miss you card. This is a box card. Hello, Linda. Joey the Clown Show. Lisa, I'm not familiar with that one. We had a local one, not Bozo. I thought it started with a B, but it was the guy, Frank Avarouche was the name of the guy who used to play Bozo the Clown. Now, Frank Avarouche was like a local celebrity. I knew his daughter, actually. And he used to do the local TV show programming, at, like, you know, the Friday night movies and the Saturday night, you know, show times, Frank Avarouche. But he also played the clown, and he had a little Willie the Whistle. That was his name, Willie the Whistle. All right. Okay. Hi, good morning, Paula. So this is what we're doing today. If I can ever get off my reminiscing, you know, about life, whatever, about my childhood growing up in Boston. If somebody knows, please help me. If somebody knows the name of that cowboy show, I really would love to know what the name. And actually, I see Elaine is tuning in. And Elaine, you're local, so tell me if you know of that cowboy show. Anyway, so here is what we're making today. This is called a box card, and here is another one that we're making today. Well, we're not making this one today. This is just as an example. But this is from a cartridge in Cricut Design Space. So you don't have to buy this elsewhere. I will tell you, though, that it is a cost to the file. It is not free. It's not even if you're a Cricut Access customer, this is a file you have to purchase. And it's actually, although there's no name associated with it, this was actually the design, or at least Lori Whitlock, one of our favorite designers, had a hand in designing this box card program. And I'm going to show you how to find these, and also how to put it together, and also how to make adjustments so that it looks like this. Because one of the first things that I noticed when I got this years ago was that it made the cards incredibly small, the way that it came over, and I want to show you that. So let's get on with it. Okay. So this is a box card for all the beginners out there. A box card is basically a card that folds flat, that you can put in an envelope to send or give in an envelope. I think that the street cleaners are coming by. I'm sorry about the noise if you hear it, okay? And actually, I think I'm going to sneeze too. I'm a mess. Okay, so a box card folds flat, easy mailing, but when you open it up, it pops open and it has all these cute little things on the inside. Now, there are some designers that have taken the idea of a box card to an extreme limit, and have done things that are shaped, that are not boxy. I'm trying to remember. Oh, well, here's a good example. This is the box card we did last week. This is from SVG Cuts, and it's sort of box. It's more of, kind of rectangular. It's not square necessarily, but that's a box card. And this is a box card because it folds and it can go in an envelope. So the only thing that distinguishes it as a box card is that it folds flat and you can mail it. Okay, so what you need to understand, they all work kind of the same way. So you need to sort of understand the process, and then you can go on and do all of these other cards, these wonderful, interesting cards. Here's another one we did last week for Easter. Just so beautiful. This is from SVG Cuts. Okay, so a box card folds easy for mailing. And obviously there are many different designs out there, tons of designs out there. This one here comes from a cartridge called, oh good, I'm so glad, Elise. Missy, that box card from Easter is from SVG Cuts. It's called Easter Box Cards. And it is beautiful, beautiful. So let's see. I'm going to go and I'm going to show you how to find these box cards. And there's 30 of them. Now, I mentioned to you before, moving you over here, I mentioned to you guys before that we have, hold on, street cleaners. Okay, you guys, you're not going to bark. Yep, street cleaners. I think I've become spoiled because I'm used to recording based on the buses, and now the buses aren't driving by, and so I was able to, kind of for the last couple of weeks record anytime I want because there's just no traffic out there. So, but now they got the street cleaners out with those, big loud machines. Anyway, so hopefully it won't take up too much time on our call. On our video. Thank you, City of Peabody! Yay! Okay, so we're in Cricut Design Space, and what we're going to do is we're going to start a new project, which is that little plus sign. So we're going to come to Cricut Design Space. This is my canvas. This should be familiar with all those that have been working with their canvas. It's the same for everyone. It looks slightly different with an iPad or an iPhone, but it still functions correctly. And by the way, you can move from one device to another, as long as you're saving your designs in the cloud. And so this is something I often do. I will design something on my laptop, and then I'll go and look at it on my iPad, and then maybe I'd cut it from my Macintosh, my desktop. So that's the beauty part of Cricut Design Space. So we open up a blank canvas, and now we're going to go look for this image set. All right, so we're going to go over here to images. We're going to choose images. And we are going to look at image sets, highlighted categories, image sets. I'm going to click on that. Now you'll see what comes up is 3,214 and 15 and 16. You know, they'll be adding as they go along. Oh, good. I'm glad. Oh, it's so nice. Missy's saying that I got her hooked, I hope in a good way, right? I got her hooked on box cards. She bought a ton of files when she had her sale. And if you guys like Lori Whitlock and some of these files that I've showed you, Lori has an enormous site with tons and tons of files. She generally has sales once a month. It's usually in the middle of the month. She also has a subscription program that I was part of, but I'm not anymore, just simply because I bought so many files that it wasn't really worth it anymore for me, but I was for a long time a subscriber, where you basically, if you pay $10 a month, you get $20 worth of stuff. So that means, like, if you bought a file that has a price point of $2 and it was on sale 50% off, so $1, and you use your half, you know, your coupon, you're basically paying 50 cents. So you can see how it added up for me, and I ended up with tons and tons of files. I think I have like 500. So, okay, so let's get back to this. So we're in Cricut Design Space. We're looking at image sets. There's over 3,000 image sets. This is some place, if you ever get bored, that you want to come and have a look. And by the way, these are called image sets now. They used to be called cartridges. Cartridges were these little like plastic sort of horseshoe shaped things that would go in your machine that you would cut from, but they've since converted over to image sets. All of the names that they used to be called, and they've got some pretty fantastical names, are still listed here. And when you're looking for an image set, you need to look by the actual name. It's not a search engine by subject. And so, for instance, if you know that the image set has the word spring in it, you would type the word spring and up would come the spring images, okay? So I know that this image set is called All Occasion Box Cards, but let's be easy on this and type in the word box. Now, what that's going to bring up is any image set that has box in the name, okay? And which there's quite a few. So 18 actually. So there's fancy boxes, box it up, sweet tooth boxes. And then we have Anna's window box cards and all occasion box cards. This is the one we're working on today. All occasion box cards. Note something very, very important. There's no A next to this image set. And what does that A mean? That A means that it is free if you are a Cricut Access customer. But this set is not free. You would have to pay for it. I bought it years ago, so I don't even know how much it costs. If somebody knows, if somebody hasn't purchased this and can tell me what it costs, that'd be super helpful. I'm thinking it's probably around $20 or $30 for all 30 of them. And there are indeed 30, quiet please, there are indeed 30 different cards. Quiet please. 30 different cards in this set. You don't have to also, by the way, you don't have to purchase all 30 of them as a group, but I think it's cheaper if you do it that way. And I will tell you that, hold on, I gotta close this door. Oh, there's, okay, sorry. Somebody was coming by, a local guy was coming by for one of the masks that I made them. Okay, so you don't have to buy all of these. You can just buy one at a time. And if you just want to do the Miss You one or this one with the plane, you can do that too. But the file is usually cheaper if you buy all the grouping, and I have done every single one of these cards, and they're all adorable. And they don't look like a whole lot from the pictures because they don't use a whole lot of like fancy patterned paper in the pictures, but we're going to take care of that. So anyway, so here's the box card grouping, and we're going to choose this one, which is the Miss You one, Miss You box card, but you can choose any of the 30 when you're on your own, right? So we're going to choose that, and then we're going to go down here and insert this into our blank canvas. Okay, so Lisa is reporting that the set is $29.99 or $1.99 for each card. So if you don't want to spend the $30, and you just want to try this out, you can buy one card for $2. But I think, and this will have to figure out after the fact, I think that if you are a Cricut Access member, you'll get 50% off of that, because design files are 50% off most design files. So that 30 drops to $15. That's pretty reasonable for me. But so that basically makes each card $1, right? If you buy them individually, $1 or $15, 50 cents each. That's nothing. All right. So anyway, we're going to choose the Miss You card. We're going to insert it here. Don't get overwhelmed when you see what comes in, because it comes in and it is a very big file, and it includes an envelope, which I always get rid of because I don't even make my own envelopes. But it's tiny. If you were to actually cut this out the exact way you see it, it would be, you only got 10% off, Lisa. Okay. That's interesting. I can go back and check with the folks later on. So check with the Cricut folks later on. But usually designs are 50% off. Maybe I've got that wrong. I don't know. So anyway, it comes in tiny. If you were to just go hit make it right now, your completed card would be like this big, the whole box card. It's so frustrating. And when I first started working with this, I was like, how do I do this? So here's what I do. I ungroup it. That's right here. Okay. So I ungroup it. And I immediately get rid of the envelopes. You don't have to get rid of the envelope, but I do. So that already cut the size of the size of my card down, right? And I've made it closer so you can have a look at it. So what we want to do now is we want to start stacking all of these pieces on top of each other, like we're making a stack of papers, okay? So that way, what we're going to do is we're going to resize this file, but we want the size to be proportionate. We want it to change proportionately because we want the outside piece to be bigger. We don't want it to be this teeny tiny box. We want it to be bigger, but if I don't include all of these pieces together, I'll end up with a small middle piece and a big outer piece, okay? So it's really important that you stack them together and you create a new group with it. So I've stacked these together. Trust me on this, okay? And I'm gonna do group over here, which is what I did. Now it functions as its own one group. Now when I make changes to the size, everything changes proportionately, okay? So you can make changes and you can make it so it's bigger, way bigger than even this if you wanted. Really the limitations you have are the size of your mat. Or you can make it smaller if you want. You don't want to make it smaller. But anyway, so here's what I do. I think these look really good at the biggest level, which is 11.5 inches. So I tend to resize this using my little arrows here, or I can go up here and look at the size. I got a width and a height, and you notice that that's locked. It's really tiny, but just so you know, it's locked, which means it's going to, any change I make to the width will proportionately adjust to the height, okay? So I can go up here and I can change my width to the maximum allowable on a mat. And by the way, these are cut on the Explorer or the Maker. These cannot be cut on the Joy. Part of the reason has to do with the fact that there's scoring involved, but the other part, the biggest part, is that they're just too big to cut on the Joy. So this is the kind of thing that could not be cut on the Joy, but if you have an Explorer or Maker, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to change the width to 11.5 inches, which I know is the maximum that I can make on a 12 by 12 mat, which is the mat that we normally have. Oh, is it easier, Maria? I think when I first started doing it, I didn't group them together and I just kind of kept stretching it, but I ended up, having to make my screen smaller, larger, all that stuff. So anyway, so here's me redoing this to 11.5 inches. I'm going to ungroup it so you can see that now all my pieces match the size, the proportions. I've got the background pieces. I'll make it a little smaller so you can see. So I've got the background pieces. This is the main piece. Then you've got the middle piece. Move these guys out of the way. So you have this piece, you have this piece. This is the main part of the card. This is the insert part of the card. The rest of the stuff is just embellishments, okay? Now you can go ahead and cut this out. The hard part about doing this is picking the paper, and I have experimented with a whole bunch of different kinds of paper. I like patterned paper with these, but I also don't like to overdo it. So basically what I do is I make sure that there aren't too many colors. Sometimes you bring in a file and there's like 7 or 8 different colors, and you end up with like one heart that's being cut out in one color, and you're like, this is a waste of time, right? So the card isn't showing up on your computer. Did you follow the instructions to go into Image Set and look for all occasion box cards, Kay? Kay, if we can't get you to, I don't want to hold up everyone, so if we can't get your help right away, I'll come back, circle back and check on you, okay? So so here's our card, and I want to talk a little bit about color syncing, okay? So here's the thing. I've got right here, I've got this brown. That's the 2 main pieces. Then we've got this piece. That's a second color, third color. These are white, so that's 4. These are 5. This is maybe 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, no, I'm not going to cut 9 different colors just for those little baby hearts. Totally useless. So I'm going to go over to Color Sync. Now, it's right here. On the left, on the right hand side, you see layers, you're going to choose Color Sync. Choose Color Sync. And what it shows you is all of the colors by the piece. Okay? So I think for this, I want to keep the base colors the same, which you'll see right here. This is the browns. Those are the two base pieces. And I like the whites for the little envelopes. And these blues are kind of cool, but I think I could probably combine those. And then also look, one heart that's in red and two other hearts that are in pink. Nah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little individual heart and just drag it and drop it and put it into there. And I'm basically condensing the number of colors that I'm using. So now I'm down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let's move this here. 5 seems like my maximum. So that works for me. So now I've changed it so that when I go to cut this, and let me go back to layers. When I go to cut this, and it automatically changes the colors, right? When I go to cut this, I will have only 5 mattes that show up. So here's my white. There's my background, the base of the card. There's the green or teal, there's my pink, and there's my red. And obviously you can choose whatever color you want. You don't have to follow the suggested colors, okay? It's just a suggestion, but this is a, just so that you know, when you go to cut it, you'll have 5 instead of, what did we have before? 8, 9 mattes. Okay, I'm not going to show you how to cut this because it's repetitive, but I will tell you that if you have a maker, it's not going to even actually let me show you, but I will tell you that if you have a maker, you will be given the choice of a scoring wheel. We talked about that yesterday. So if you wanted to change it to a scoring stylus, you can do that. All right, let's move this over. Picking the colors, by the way, can be a little bit tedious. So if you are having a hard time, I would always suggest choosing your colors from a grouping of papers. A lot of times they come in a stack. In this particular case, these are from Cricut, and you get like 12 double-sided sheets of paper. Let me just show you. So that way, when you're using, there's a lot of good choices here. When you're using these, they coordinate, right? So that's just about the paper. So what you end up with is 2 main pieces, this and this. Let's talk about those first. We're going to put the rest of the stuff, again, those are just embellishments. So these are scored. This is scored here, across here, at the tab, and down here, and all 3 of the flaps. This also has scoring on it. Okay, Maria's asking about the scoring wheel versus the stylus. I did do a video on that yesterday, Maria, but the long and short of it is the scoring wheel A can only be used in the maker because it's part of the adaptive tool system. So unless you have a maker, don't even think about the scoring wheel, okay? But if you have a maker, you can still use the stylus. The stylus doesn't do the score lines as deeply as the scoring wheel, but it gets the job done. So, for me, unless I'm doing something really with a ton of scoring, I don't use the scoring wheel. So I'm making like one card that has 1 line of scoring. It's not worth it for me to take the blade out and put in the new wheel and all of that. It's just not worth it. But it's a great product. It's just not something I use every day. So, and when what happens is when you get something scored, it's not a whole really deep score. So it's just a guide where you want to fold it. So we're going to go through and we're going to fold in all of the places where that score line is showing, okay? And I actually, to be on the safe side, I go back and I fold both ways just because I want that score to be really strong. You can also use something like a scraper or a bone folder for this. If you want. I mostly just use my hands. So what I'm doing is I'm folding at all of the score lines. There's my box, okay? And notice that one of the four does not get folded, okay? And then here's my tab. For the middle piece, it is actually going to go in at a zigzag. I'm going to hold this up to show you. See how that zigzagged? We'll do that after we put together the box. But for now, you can just go ahead and fold at all the little score lines just so you can kind of get a feel. All right? So let's put that aside. So our box. You can do this two ways. You can decorate it before you put it together, or you can decorate it afterwards. For these ones, it's pretty simple to do the decorations afterwards, so I'm going to show you that. So I folded all the score lines, and now I'm going to put glue right here at this tab. I'm not going to use a whole lot of glue. Actually, I don't think I can because I'm running out of glue. I need to get some more glue. Oh my gosh, and the place that I normally get it at has been out of stock for like weeks. I think I have to stop recommending that place. All right, so I'm putting the glue on that tab, putting it behind, and then I'm folding it actually. I'm going to use my flat surface just to make sure that it folds. And to be on the safe side, turn it this way so that you know it's connected. And there's your box. See that? Woo! You got your box. You can decorate that box now. Let me show you what you get. So you get this piece. This goes in the back like this. And then you have these pieces that coordinate and they match with the cutout. So those get put on the edges. I'll show you how to do that. And then you get these pieces and they go on the base. So let's go ahead and do that while we're sitting here, as long as my glue holds out. Okay. And you can work on a flat surface. It's not a problem. So I'll try to stay in camera. And obviously you guys are gonna be more diligent about this. I am just rushing because I chit-chat so much that I'm rushing. But I'm just putting my glue on there, and first I put the outside panels. Now I'm going to do the inside panel. This goes here. You can keep pressing down so that it's really where you want it to be. And then my side panels. You're more than halfway done at this point. Okay. So now I have my outside part of my box. Again, you guys will do a better job than me because you're not rushing, okay? So all that's left for this box is to do the front here, which is the little miss you, and then this inside piece. This front piece is just simply 2 cutouts, miss you, and this background. And when you cut it out, make sure you save, if it's important to you, make sure you save that little piece that's in the middle of the O. If it's not that important to you, don't worry about it. But it sometimes will get, it all the time will get left on your mat. So you have to go back and make sure you pick it up, okay? So you could obviously put it here if you wanted to, but I like to put it there. Okay. So then the middle piece, the one that we are folded and put aside, here's what it is. This is the part. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Lauren. Okay, so here's the middle part, and it folds in a zigzag way, as I mentioned. So what's important here, and I think that the initial reaction is, oh, okay, I decorate all three of these things, but it gets folded. And so because it gets folded, you need to decorate this with thought, because this is how it looks. It looks like a Z. So that means when you open it up, see that? The middle piece, you have to decorate on the back. And then the first and third piece, you decorate on the front. See that? So in this particular case, it's just little envelopes that you fold up, right? And you glue. Again, you can embellish this if you want to put little hearts on it or write an address or something. I don't know. That would be kind of funny. But I'm just showing you the basics, and you guys will take it and run with it. So, okay, so I put the decoration here. I'm going to skip this one, and I'm going to put the decoration here. Right, there's my envelope. Glue, glue, glue. Put it on my strip. I'm running out of glue, so it might fall off. Okay, and then my third one, my third envelope, folding it all, these are scored. So folding out all the score lines. Okay, but in this particular case, I'm not going to put it in the middle one. I'm going to put it in the back of the middle one, okay? I actually folded that one kind of funky. Oh, well. All right, and then you just go ahead and you put the hearts on there and whatever. You embellish it whatever way you want. So now you're ready to put it inside the box. And Elise is asking me what kind of glue I use. This is the glue that I generally use, although any liquid glue usually will work. This is what I use. It's called Art Glitter Glue by the Art Glitter Institute. You can buy it on Amazon. I normally buy it at createforless.com, but lately they've been out of stock. And so they have the best price if you ask me. But you can't buy what's not in stock. So, okay, and it's great because it dries really, really clear, and it works really well with paper. It was designed for use with glitter. That's why it's called Art Glitter Glue. So now we have our pieces all decorated. Say we have it all decorated, and we're going to fold it back into the Z position. Okay, and we're going to fit it into the inside of the card. Just to get a feel for it, okay? You haven't put any glue on there. We're just getting a feel for it, right? And we want to make sure when we do glue it, it's going to be able to fold flat. That's the whole thing about a box card, right? So this is the way that it's going to go in. We're going to put glue on the front, and on the sides, these tabs on the side. That's it. Only glue there. If you put the glue elsewhere, it will not work. Okay, so I've got it on the front, you see, on the sides. And now I'm going to very gently sort of move it into position. I start with the front here. I'm holding it. And then I sort of kind of position the back piece, and the middle piece, I leave it sort of loose until I can fold and make sure, because it kind of moves and I want to be able to mail this. So it sort of goes into place when you fold it. It might take a couple of times, but it does work. Okay, and that is a box card. That's it. That's all that is to it. These other box cards that we purchased from other people like SVG Cuts and Laurie Whitlock these are just variations on the theme. The idea is the same. It's a box. It folds flat. It has an insert, and the inserts are able to fold along with it. And that way you can fold it and mail it. Or if you use these for decorations, you can just, fold them and store them away flat, take them out. That's what I do at Christmas. At Christmas, I have, 30 or so different box cards, all different little scenes. They're absolutely gorgeous. And most of them came from Mary at SVG Cuts. And I just fold them all flat. And then at Christmas time, I take them all out and put them on the windowsills. This is an excellent project for somebody in a nursing home, or maybe for a desk. Or somebody who is away and they have a limited space. But I like the idea of nursing home gifts because it's cute. It tells a little story. It's compact. It can easily put away. And it's just so bright. It's cheery, it's cheery. So that is, I hope you try these. And I'm here available to go over any of the details on it, but it does take a little practice. I'm not going to lie. And you have to make sure that you have you're in the right temperament. For instance, this morning, I was not in the best temperament when I was making these cards because I have a neighbor that has a gongy kind of a chime that I'm trying very much to appreciate and enjoy, but it is not working. And oh man, I don't know how to tell them. It's really annoying, but anyway, I was kind of losing it this morning, and I was like, I'm gonna go crazy. If you're in that kind of a frame of mind, not the best idea to work with something like this. But if you're just like, hey, I want to make a nice card for my Aunt Martha who's in the rehab, or I want to send a card to somebody who is, graduating high school, college, or whatever, it's a really great little thing. Do it. Yes, Dawn, Dawn's asking about explosion boxes. Yes, we did an explosion box at Easter. Did you see it? It was from SVG Cuts. It opens up, I don't have it here, but it opens up and it had chicks and bunnies and a little basket on the inside. So much fun. I would definitely recommend going back to my YouTube channel and look for it. It's called the Easter Explosion Box, and it's by Dreaming Tree, and those are fun. Explosion box, and we'll do a little more of explosion boxes. Okay, and Lisa's asking, what's the name of the paper company that I use? I use all different paper companies, and I do like Cricut paper, but the one that I use the most is called Echo Park, which is actually a city out in California. I did not know this. Echo Park Paper Company. And it is in association with, I don't know the whole deal, but they're in association with like Bella Boulevard and Doodlebug. So they're all sort of, I don't want to say one and the same. I don't understand the relationship there, but they are similar designers. And Lori Whitlock is a designer for Echo Park, or has been a designer for Echo Park. They sell their paper usually either in small pads or in what's called a kit. And I can show you what a kit looks like. I can see if I can find one that I haven't opened and show you what I'm talking about in a future video. Okay. So, so that is the box cards. Aren't they great? These are so addictive. So addictive. You're going to want to do it. You're going to want to do it. At least try one and see if it's not for you. Okay, so let's see. Finishing up for today, I have some winners. I haven't got all the winners, but I have some winners for our April giveaway, which this month, oh, in Canada, Teresa. Teresa's in Canada and saying she doesn't know. So if anybody knows a place in Canada, my friend Carol Prevost is in Canada. She might know where you can get that kind of paper. You know, another site, and again, I mention these names just so you guys can replicate them. I am not sponsored by any of these companies. So, you know, I just mentioned them. And so your mileage may vary, sort of thing. But one of the companies that you can buy some of those papers at is called scrapbook.com. They have a massive site. And I'll find a few others and post links to them. Again, the only company that I have an affiliation with is Cricut. So I tend to use all Cricut stuff, but I do also like my Echo Park and my Doodlebug stuff. So I wanted to let you know where you can find that. So, okay, getting back. And no, you don't need to move to the States, Teresa, because I want to move to Canada. It's so crazy here. Okay, so we have April giveaways going on. We've already awarded 4 giveaways earlier in the month, and now I have 3 more. And I'm hoping that I can please get somebody that I'm looking to speak with. But the 3 new winners of the April giveaway, which is an infusible ink giveaway, and what that means is you get 2 t-shirts. They're infusible ink brand Cricut infusible ink t-shirts, as well as a pack of infusible ink markers, pens, markers, and 1 box of infusible ink transfer sheets in the rainbow patterned ones. And that is a value of $50. And I generally give away 10 $50 prizes a month, and so that's what these are. And these prizes are furnished by my friends over at Cricut, and I thank them for that. And we do change the giveaways and how to get your name in for them throughout the year, just to keep you on your toes, you know. So the winners, the next 3 winners are Paula Soares. She's from Newark, New Jersey. Congratulations, Paula. The next one is Amy, and I hope I'm going to pronounce this. I should have checked with her. Amy Tonne. She's from Fairmont, Minnesota. It's spelled Tonne. Amy. She's from Fairmont, Minnesota. And then the third one is Penny Leo. And she is from Maryland, Mount Airy, Maryland. So Amy, Paula, and Penny have all won one of the April giveaways, Infusible Ink giveaways. Again, I still have a couple more to do. And I do change it around. Basically, I choose people who promote my channel. Either sometimes I ask you if you could share a video, or you could ask people to subscribe to YouTube. So if you're doing that on a regular basis, I always check to see who's doing that, and I come back and make my choices from there. So the choice pool is pretty small, and the opportunity to win is pretty high. You're welcome. You're welcome. So there's still, I have 3, possibly 4 more giveaways to do before the end of next week. And then also I have one more giveaway to do this month, and that is for the Cricut Cutie. This guy, I think he's Raspberry Cricut Cutie. This is a duplicate that I received that I want to give away, and I was trying to boost my Instagram followership. I have not picked a winner, so if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, sign up. I have to post there more often, but anybody that signed up, their name's going to go into a pool, and I'm going to choose one winner for this. So so that's still coming forward. And then we have the next month, and the next month, and the next month. So it'll be fun. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you being, you need that cutie, Paula. I really appreciate your patience. I know I am a chatty Kathy, I think because I've been in quarantine too long. But if you like what you see and you're not already following me, or you're not following me subscribed on YouTube, please subscribe. Please tell your friends. Hey, the more the merrier. We're having a whole lot of fun here, and I am so excited every day that I come and am able to talk with you and bring you more Cricut related projects. So thanks so much for coming today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Thanks, Lisa.